Some great police work there. Now, in 2017, when Hampshire police were searching rural outbuildings for stolen goods, they came across something completely unexpected. The body of an unidentifiable man. The next few years saw an investigation which took on many twists and turns as police tried to discover just who he was. I'm with Serious Crime Review Officer Doug Utting now. Hello, Doug. Thank you and welcome to the show. It's a fascinating case.
Yes.
Just tell us, how was this body found?
So officers were looking for stolen property in remote rural areas near Winchester, and they came to a site known locally as Burrowdown Farm, which is a site that hasn't been used as a farm for over 50 years. It's completely overgrown. And in one of the buildings there is where they found the body of the man.
OK, and we just see that building here, as you say, completely overgrown, hadn't been used for many, many years. So just talk us through on a map where this actually occurred, Doug.
Yeah, so this is right in the middle of Hampshire, not far from the city of Winchester, and close to a smaller village of Mitcheldever, which you can see just in the bottom left of the graphic there. OK, so a body was found, but you just didn't know who it was. So how was the investigation? What happened then? So the body was found with a number of personal possessions, and everything seemed to point to the fact that this person had been living rough. Okay. We had a post-mortem investigation, but that was inconclusive. The cause of death couldn't be determined, primarily because of the age of the body. It's just being treated as what we call a non-suspicious death. There's nothing to suggest there'd been a crime involved.
So from that point then, when you had the post-mortem, you still didn't know what really had happened or who this person was. What did you then do? Because you took it up a level, didn't you?
We did indeed. And one of the things we did was to go to the public locally at the time, and we commissioned an expert to do us a reconstruction of what this gentleman might have looked like based on the data from the body. OK, so you went to Dr. Chris Rinn, who's an expert in this field, and he and his team have created this image. Talk us through what's happening here. Yeah, so I think Dr. Rinn here is using the data from the skull and using the measurements within the science and has created an image. And this is an image that we later were able to enhance by some witnesses that we later located.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very clear image, that. So you put this out, you did identify some witnesses that came forward as part of your investigation, and they could be crucial to the whole investigation themselves. Tell us about that.
Well, we're certainly hoping so. As a result of the initial publicity and the release of the image, some witnesses came forward from a small village not far from where the body was found, in a place called Itchenstoke, again in the middle of Hampshire, very rural.
We can just see that here, and as you say, it really isn't that far at all from the discovery that happened a few years later. So what did these witnesses see?
So they talk of a gentleman who sounded as if he was French. He had a French accent. He said to them he was from France and that he was walking through England, making his way over towards Ireland. And that he clearly had items with him, like a tent and some other possessions, and he was living in the outdoors. And he actually asked them if he could camp in their garden for the evening, and they agreed to that. And they spent some time with him, got to know a little bit about him, and observed some things about him that perhaps were significant.
OK. And you did some DNA testing as well, both here and internationally?
Yeah. DNA was taken as a matter of course, but sadly we've not been able to match that with anything in any of the UK databases, either criminally or on the missing persons database. And so that DNA profile has been sent overseas via Interpol to European databases. But again, sadly, at this time, we've had no hits.
OK, and that would suggest, obviously, that the person has not been arrested in the past. OK, so how can the public help you today?
Well, because of what the witnesses were able to tell us, as I said, we think this man may well have been French or very closely connected with that country. He was a smoker. He was someone...
so you've already said connections to France. You've already said lived rough. You've just mentioned as a smoker. And this possible military background, possibly.
Yeah, that comes because one of the witnesses was himself an ex-military man and had a conversation with the gentleman who said he had been in the French military.
So any names for who this person could be crucial on this investigation. Doug, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I should say we're going to keep this image on our website. So if you have any ideas on who he might be, please do get in touch.